It says here to amputate before the infection spreads. Interesting. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Welcome to another Project Zomboid video. Today we're going to give you everything you need to survive your first 7 days in the apocalypse. Project Zomboid is incredibly difficult if you don't know what you're doing, and I bet you'd rather survive a week than feed your local zombies. Without further ado, let's get started. First up is character creation. Now, everybody has their own character creation preferences, but there is one that shines above the rest. By locking our newest writer in a room until he tried every single character creation option, we've found the best beginner build is Burglar. Burglars have everything you want in life: stealth, lockpicking ability, devilishly good looks, and nobody will miss them if they do die. You're going to need to take negative traits to balance out the positives of being a burglar. Mind you, we suggest the smoker trait and the short-sighted trait as they have a minimal impact on your character. Now, when you finish the character creation process, your glorious creation is going to need some space to wander. With Project Zomboid, there are 4 starting locations to pick from. You won't have to worry about missing out because you can always travel across the map to other locations. Moldro was the original starting point of Project Zomboid and is the best place to spawn in. It does have a decent amount of zombies, but that's nothing a bit of stealth can't handle. That comes with extra loot and many places to explore. Riverside is a much smaller remote town with access to the Ohio River for water and fishing. It's a good idea to start here if you're having trouble with Moldro, because the lower population of zombies makes for less loot than any of the other places. Rosewood has a large zombie population right next door due to the Kentucky State Prison. Despite that, there's a ton of loot to make this a great place to visit once you've gotten the hang of the game. Last, we've got West Point. West Point is the county seat and has a ton of places to loot, from gun stores to libraries to even hair salons. This is also the closest spawn location to the big city Louisville, so if you start here, you have much less distance to travel to hit the jackpot. However, it is incredibly dangerous, so be prepared. Depending on your randomized spawn location inside these areas, it can be easier or harder. There's no shame in dying. After all, we are all going to die someday. Once you've loaded in, the heads-up display seems complicated. I know it confused me when I first started playing. We'll start from the basics and go a bit deeper in. In the middle, there's going to be your handsome character you've made, ready for all the zombie killing you'll inevitably force upon him. On your left, there are 7 little circles. Each one of these circles is important. Going from top to bottom, these circles show what's in your left hand and what's in your right. They provide quick access to inventory, the character status menu, the crafting menu, the redecorating menu, the foraging mode, and the map. On the right will be all of the modifiers affecting your character, from being well-fed to bleeding out of every possible orifice. Now that you've familiarized yourself with the display, it's time to finally delay the inevitable death you're going to suffer. Alrighty, your character is ready, you picked the town to spawn in, and you're now ready to take on the world. The very first thing you should do is crouch. The zombies hunt by sound, like the clickers from Last of Us. Be very careful and make your way to the nearest windows. You want to make sure there are no zombies nearby before you start looting the area. Start in the kitchen and grab all the perishable foods in the refrigerator. These should be the first foods you eat, as they can and will go bad. Next, you're going to want to grab any container you can fill with water. Later on, the water will be turned off, and you don't want to die of thirst when it happens. You're going to have limited space, so it's important to prioritize. If you find a frying pan, take that. That's one of the best weapons you can start with. Really, anything is better than nothing, so you'll want anything you can hold in your hands, except a spoon. Anything is better than a spoon. Raid the bathroom. Next, for any medical supplies, especially antibiotics or beta blockers. These will keep you healthy through the zombie apocalypse. Tweezers are important, as are scissors, but if you have to choose them, take the medicine. If your start location has an upstairs, take all the clothing and sheets you can find and rip it up. These will make improvised bandages if you cut yourself or a zombie gets a lucky hit on. You don't want to make your base where you start, so it's time to leave. If you didn't find all of that you needed, that's okay. Just move on to the next place and stay out of reach of the Zeds. Oh, hey guys, just taking a break from sneaking around Knox County. If you don't want to end up like those zombies I ran over on my way here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. While you're at it, check out our Patreon. $1 a month goes a long way for us on the team, so we can keep doing what we love. Oh look, $1! Let's hurry back to the video. As you leave the starter house, be cautious. If you don't have a weapon, sneak around to avoid combat as much as possible. If you are forced into combat, you can separate zombies by using windows and doors to block off any reinforcements. Take them one at a time, shoving them to the ground and giving them the old boot to the head. If you're lucky enough to have a weapon, don't get cocky. Death comes quickly in this game. Take on zombies one at a time. If you think you're going to be surrounded, run. Don't try to be a hero. If you find a gun, don't bother taking it. Guns are loud and ammo is scarce. As a burglar, you won't have the skills needed to wield firearms effectively. effectively. Now that you've survived your first encounter with the Walking Dead, it's time to rough it. The wilderness provides some much needed distance between you and the populated cities. While it's not entirely free of zombies, they are much more scarce. Supplies are similarly as rare, but there are some things you can craft. The spear, basically just a pointy stick, is going to be one of the best melee weapons in the game. It allows you to keep a nice distance and poke away at the Walking Dead. In order to make one, you'll need to obtain a chip stone and a tree branch from foraging. You can forage by clicking on the magnifying glass, walk around in the woods until a small eye icon pops up above your head, and voila, you found something. Be cautious when eating berries. You never know which are poisonous unless you take the herbalist trait. Now that you've got some homemade weaponry and some gear, it's time to find a base to store your items and rest your head. The 4 things to look for are farmable land, decent choke points, an emergency exit, and nearby access to water. In the southeast of Muldrow, there is a group of houses surrounded by high fences. These are unbreakable and provide natural choke points. You can also climb over them for an easy exit. There's a lake nearby as well, which seals the deal. A popular area in which many players make their base is west of downtown Muldrow, in McCoy Logging Company. The warehouses there make for excellent bases. It is also far enough from Muldrow itself that if you accidentally get a horde of zombies following you, you'll be able to outrun them as you get to your base. However, if you have a sledgehammer and enough ripped sheets, any building with a second story can make a decent base. You can use the sledgehammer to destroy the stairs, preventing zombies from reaching you on the second floor. The ripped sheets can be crafted into a rope which you can climb down from any of the second story windows. Be warned, as at the end of the first week, a helicopter will fly over the map, attracting a horde of zombies to the player. We suggest having a secondary base far away from your main to wait out this event. It should only happen once, but it's the most dangerous event of the early game. The last thing you'll need is a way to get around. While jogging is good for your health, nothing beats riding around in a car, safe from all the horrors of the outside world. If you pick the burglar's start like we suggested, you'll be able to hotwire cars and drive to your heart's content. As a bonus, cars can be used as makeshift unbreakable walls. However, to get your brand new Ferrari purring like a content cat, you're probably going to need to get some spare parts. Most times you'll need a battery and some gas. If the car needs more than that, leave it for now. You can always come back later. To get gas, all you need is a gas can and a gas station. Fill it up at the pump and you're ready to go. Once you've filled your car, keep a spare full gas can on you. It'll keep you from getting stranded. You can find car batteries in places like gas stations and mechanic shops. If you find a tire iron and a jack, pick them up as well in case you need to swap a tire while on the road. You can also siphon gas from other cars on the road. Once you've got your car, be careful. As fun as it is to run over zombies, you don't want to pop a tire and be stranded in the apocalypse. And that's all you'll need to survive the very first few days of the apocalypse. We hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you learned something, give us a like. Now to take care of one last thing.